Alright, P and Vinegar, day 31, accessories day. So, tried a few things out today, new things out. Got this new leverage machine that I've built that attaches to my squat rack, and it turned out not to be overly safe. You'll see in a minute. I'm starting off with shrugs, starting off with some kind of close grip leverage shrugs. These felt way better than straight bar shrugs because of the anatomy of the traps. You go up and in and back. So it is better to have your arms supinated, at least for me, or pronated, depending on how you see it. Well, no, supinated. So you can slightly lean forward this way, and you can contract the upper, mid, and lower traps all in one, rather than just controlling the upper traps. So these are really good. Unfortunately, the bar that holds the plates is too small, so it's not, or rather not long enough, and I can only hold on, I think this is 25, 50, 70, about 90 kilos, which is just not quite heavy enough for shrugs. And today I didn't do power shrugs because my neck and thoracic spine was hurting a little bit. I had a bit of a nerve impingement that's been fucking with me all day, and I didn't want to try to facilitate it with heavy power shrugs, so I just did the basically strict shrugs. But yeah, this is a bit light, so I'm going to have to figure a way to modify the bar so I can apply more plates. It might be a matter of using 2 bars on either side, or it might be the 1 bar but with a longer plumbing pipe, because I'm using plumbing pipe. But either way, this felt really good. I just have to figure out a way of adding more weight, because 90 kilos is just not quite heavy enough for shrugs. So yeah, these felt good. Did a few rest pauses. I could also do slower rep speed in order to get more out of less weight, but for what it is, it feels really good. Very good DIY piece of gym equipment here. So yeah, I did 2 rest pauses here, and yeah, if you're doing shrugs at the gym and you have a leverage machine, or you have a machine option where you could use a closer grip V-bar, or just neutral grip in general, but the closer grip really allows me to contract the traps better than wider grip, because you can get a longer range of motion when your arms are closer versus wider. I would highly suggest giving those a go, opposed to straight bar or barbell, which really doesn't feel all that great for me. Smith machine's okay, but anytime you're doing shrugs, you want the bar path to be set in stone. You don't want it to move around. And then I'm doing neck curls. This went up a little bit today. I haven't counted my reps yet, but I'll count these afterwards and then cross-reference my progress. Now that I'm into my maintenance calories phase, all these lifts are kind of going up a bit, which is great already, and I've only been in the maintenance phase for 3 days basically. So the fact that I was making already pretty good gains, even though I've only been in maintenance phase for 3 days, is very bullish for gains to come. So yeah, these neck curls, brutal. Didn't go too crazy on the neck curls today. Didn't do any neck extensions because, again, my thoracic spine was feeling a bit fucked up, which ties into my neck. So I didn't do a few different exercises in order to safely keep my thoracic spine from getting any more kind of pinched up or whatever. My rhomboid seemingly, or one of the discs in my thoracic spine starts pinching upon nerves, and it gives me this dull numbing pain in my shoulder blades, or in between my shoulder blades and my thoracic spine. So yeah, not taking these too intensely, or at least not taking neck curls or neck extensions too intense, or didn't do them at all, in fact. So yeah, did those beyond failure still, and then I did some side neck curls to hit the side of the neck, the most important part of the neck for aesthetics. If you're not doing a side neck curl variation, do one, and I'd highly suggest doing one like this. Get a karate belt, loop it. I forgot to loop it because it creates better resistance curve. Put it on a cable stack and do it this way. You can do it with a plate, but the resistance curve, is pretty shitty, and it is awkward holding a plate on your head. Whereas this is much more comfortable because it's a rope, and the resistance curve is far better throughout. Ideally, you'd get a neck harness that allows you to do lateral flexion, However, mine doesn't. It doesn't really work like that. If you can see closely in the background, it's kind of like Where's Wally, but you can see my dog. He sleeps upside down, which is pretty funny. He sleeps kind of like like he has no care in the fucking world. So yeah, if you're gonna do neck, if you're gonna train your neck, which you should be training your neck, if you're only gonna do one variation of neck, it should be this. Ideally, do all 3 variations of neck. There are 4 because you can also do twisting, but I don't do that because it's more dangerous and there's not a whole lot of hypertrophy or aesthetic gain from it. But if you are interested in making your facial aesthetics better, making your neck healthier and safer and less likely to be concussed, and then generally just looking more muscular, especially when you're in a shirt, because when you're in a shirt, the forearms and the neck and the traps are the first thing a person is going to see. Realistically, the neck is the absolute first thing, or sometimes only thing, a layman person will see out in public, because they're just looking at your face. No one's really looking down and looking at your biceps and your pecs and your forearms. People are going to look at your face and go, damn, that guy's got a big fucking neck. So, train your neck. It'll make your neck stronger, safer, healthier, less likely to concuss, and you'll be more aesthetic in a host of different ways. And then I switch sides, so I do a rest pause with these, and that's it. I don't really push the neck training too hard. They are a small muscle, and I find that so far so good. I've built quite a bit of neck gains over a cut, mind you, just from the variations I'm doing. The neck curl, 1 set to failure, 1 drop set, neck side lateral or lateral neck raise, 1 set to failure, rest pause, and then neck extensions with a set close to failure, not even to true failure. And from that, my neck has grown quite a lot, even over a cut. Technically, it's maintained. Like, it's maintained its size. Unflexed, it is 17. Flexed, it's 19. But that's the same size it's been since I was 100 kilos. But when I was 100 kilos, there was easily an inch or more fat on my neck that then got evenly distributed or sort of main gained through fat loss. So my neck is in metrics the same size, but actually quite a bit more muscular as I've lost fat, gained muscle. And then I move on to, I think, my new calf raise variation, which you'll see is a bit fucking dangerous. When you're doing DIY gym equipment stuff, you've got to be ready to potentially need to get out of a sticky situation. As you'll see, whoops, didn't have it set up correctly, didn't build it correctly, and I had 70 kilos and a piece of wood smack into my knee, which hurt real fucking bad. So when you're making these janky DIY pieces of equipment, first of all, do them better than me. Think it out first. Really think over the different nuances here. Like this nuance here, I should have made this piece of this latch just maybe a few inches further towards myself so I wouldn't have to lean over, for example. But safety first. Really think about what could make it safer, because this shit ain't safe. So I'm gonna have to kind of build this contraption, make it safer. So anyway, doing calf raises, again, same thing here, a little bit light. Couldn't quite put enough plates on here. Obviously I could put another 20 on the top there, I should have. I only went 80 kilos here, or yes, 80 kilos, which just wasn't quite enough, even with the slow rep speed. So yeah, there's a few issues with this contraption I've built. Safety and efficiency is off. The setup time's a little bit inefficient too. So I'm going to tweak around with it, try to figure out how to make it more efficient. Unfortunately, I'm a bit of a meathead and have zero engineering and very minimal building skills. This is all just instincts, kind of genetic memory, I suppose, because apart from me, every single male in my family has always been a builder. I'm a bodybuilder of sorts because I personal train people, and I build my own body, and that's my living. So sort of a builder, but my whole ancestral line is just builders, stonemasons, carpenters, etc. So I have something in there. I have a decent idea of how to build things instinctually without any knowledge of how to build, but obviously not that good, because I have almost died numerous times building janky gym equipment that you would see in West Africa in one of those weird concrete jungle gyms that they make. Honestly, theirs are probably better than mine. But anyway, yeah, these are good. These seated calf raises have been a fucking absolute blast for my calves, especially the gastrocnemius, which is a note that I need to start doing the seated and the standing, because the seated hits your gastrocnemius, otherwise for you layman's, the outer head of your calf muscle, and then standing calf raises typically, because your knees are now straightened or you're in knee extension, you hit your soleus muscle, which is the inside of your calf muscle, which realistically takes maybe 2/3, if not more, of the bulk of your calves. So very important to do. So I'm still gonna have to figure out a way of doing standing calf raises. If you don't already know, I was doing sort of rack-assisted standing calf raises with the safety squat bar, but because I have thoracic spine issues, I would get sort of pinching in my thoracic spine from the weight being on my upper back. So I had to improvise and change up to some seated calf raises. And now, again, you'll see that this shit is not fucking safe, because I take it off my legs and then immediately it starts lopsiding. I need to be able to kind of set it up so that it's stuck on the safety pins of my rack, because right now it's kind of just latched onto it. It needs to be kind of set into it. I have to drill a larger 1-inch hole in order to be able to put the wood in, push the pole through on the safety pins so that it's stuck in place. I did it in the way that it just latches on, because it's quicker and easier to set up, but far less safe. And again, this ends up smacking one of my legs and hurting a little bit again. So yeah, this is really awkward and could potentially be way less safe, way more dangerous. Could have potentially got seriously injured here. So this is a lesson for the future. When I build these janky pieces of equipment, I need to make sure that they are safe. Anyway, moving on. Sit-ups. I'm doing these sit-ups with bands now, and as you can see, with the plates, I was using the 15 kilo plate, and that was super easy. I was doing 15 kilos for like 15 reps with 5-second negatives, and the resistance curve was dog shit. Now I've moved over to this cable variation, and the resistance curve is fucking immaculate. If you're not doing sit-ups this way, start doing them this way. Buy yourself a karate belt, because there are so many things you can do with karate belts, as evident by my training, and start doing these sort of karate belt sit-up with the cable, because I'm only using 5 kilos here, and I can barely get like 8 or 9 reps. I don't know how many I got, but it was fuck all, versus the 15 kilos that got me 15 reps. And the resistance curve is consistent throughout. So if you're doing sit-ups, use cable tension, because sit-ups have a terrible resistance curve. Up here at the top, there's nothing. From here to here, there's a bunch of tension. The cable mitigates that and gives you more tension at the top. Bands might be even better. I might start adding bands, because bands will make up for the fact that the tension's all at the bottom, and then max it out at the top. So I might next time add a band, although I probably won't, because I'm already getting fuck all reps with the cable. Maybe in the future, when I get strong enough to use the cable for 15 plus reps, then I'll add a band to get an even better resistance curve. Because if you're not taking advantage of full tension resistant curves, you are losing out on gains. And then I go on to the leg curl, and the exact same thing here, where at the top you have less tension, especially if you're doing these knee bent ones. But I mean, either way, at the top of the leg raise, rather, not leg curl, the resistance curve is shit. So use cables to mitigate this. And again, I might, now that I just think about it, start adding band tension to this, because at the top, even with the cable, you still have an inferior resistance curve. There's no way around that unless you use bands. And I'm not an advocate of bands in most contexts. I think bands are fucking awful if you're using them straight weight. Using bands is fucking stupid, because bands' resistance curve is the opposite of this. At the bottom, you have no tension, they fucking suck. You have all this tension at the top. They're terrible for progressively overloading, because you can only go in tension increments or band increments, and that is a very inconsistent way of progressively overloading. But if you have a exact range of motion, an exact band tension set, and you have the body weight or the cable machine, you can really get this excellent resistance curve when you combine the two. So I'm definitely going to start adding bands to these leg raises, because that will make it a lot better. And it will make it easier to drop set too, because you can see here with the drop set, these bodyweight leg raises leg raises are too easy. They're just too easy. I couldn't actually hit mechanical failure. But if I had bands there, I probably could. So I could drop the cable and then keep the band there and just do a drop set that way. So that's food for thought. I'll try to remember that for my next session. And that's why I love doing these videos, or one of the reasons I love doing these videos is looking back and going, oh, there's something there I can improve. That's form I can improve. That's a band I can add there. That's that. And you can see, or I can go, wow, look how unbelievably unsafe that fucking piece of shit machine that I created was. Now I'm on to some teapots, hitting the obliques. My obliques are growing way too fast. I don't know what's going on, but I think I might have to ease up on the oblique training sometime soon, because my obliques are getting really big. I don't know what it is. My genetics are cursed. The muscles that don't really matter that much, or really don't want to get too big, seem to grow very fast on me. So my obliques, with the combination of having very wide set hip bones, will potentially give me sort of a Klinefelter's look if I'm not careful. So yeah, although I'm enjoying the strength gains that I'm getting on my oblique training, and the size gains, in a sense that it's like, cool, my muscle is getting bigger, that's really cool, but it's not the right muscle to get big. So might have to ease up on this, but I'll see. I'll see when they get too big. I might ease up and stop training them for a bit and see what size is where I want it to be, essentially. But for now, I might do a few more oblique sessions and then start easing up, because getting too big. And yeah, that's it for my accessory day. Again, a few things missing here. Didn't do my power shrugs, didn't do my neck extensions for the thoracic issue that I'm having right now. But other than that, pretty good day, especially in the sense that I found out that those shrugs were vastly superior to barbell shrugs, especially freeform barbell shrugs. Now, Smith machine shrugs are great too, but still I think when you pronate your arms and you have a closer grip, you can get a higher range of motion with your shrug, and you can bend down, and you can get your mid and upper traps hit too, and lower traps. So yeah, that's it for today. Not much more to say. See you guys tomorrow for more piss and vinegar. Bye bye.